So if you are tired of your phone lagging anytime you try to play a game on an emulator, well, I feel your pain, and especially if you are using a low-end Android devices with a Mali GPU. With that, not every emulator is built for us, and let's be honest, some of them lag like crazy or just crashes before you can even get into the menu of the game. So in today's video, I'm breaking down the top 8 best emulators for low-end Android devices, and yeah, these emulators work great on Mali GPU as well. So whether you are trying to play Switch, PS2, PSP or DS games, I've got you covered with emulators that actually perform well even on devices with just 3GB or 4GB of RAM. So grab your phone, sit tight, and let's go through the emulators that won't make your device cry. And before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any emulator tips or mobile gaming guide I drop right here on the channel. So without much ado, let's get started. First up, we have the Citron emulator. So one can ask, what is a Citron emulator? Citron emulator is a fork of the popular Yuzu emulator made specifically to improve performance on Android. And guess what? It actually works on many low-end and mid-range devices. So Citron focuses on better optimization, offering smoother gameplay compared to the original Yuzu build. And some lighter Nintendo Switch titles like the Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley or Cuphead can be played decently with the right settings. In fact, many users report improved FPS, sometimes hitting 30 to 35 FPS on devices of 4GB RAM and entry-level chipset. The developers took the original user source code and tweaked it for better rendering and mobile-friendly performance, making it a great starting point for Switch emulation if your device isn't too powerful enough. Now keep in mind that this emulator is still in development, so not every game is going to work. But for what it offers, especially on low-end Android devices, Citron is absolutely worth trying out. So just make sure you set it up with the proper firmware and game keys, and keep your expectation realistic because you are not going to run Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on a budget phone. But for smaller indie games, Citron is a beast. Now next on the list is the Suyu emulator. Another Nintendo Switch emulator for Android, and this one is actually a fork of the Yuzu emulator, but Suyu came with a mission, better performance, fewer bugs, and an easier user experience on Android. Now, Suyu made a lot of noise in the emulation scene, especially after Yuzu got shut down. It became the go-to choice for Android users wanting to emulate Nintendo Switch games. And the best part is it works surprisingly well on low-end Android devices. Many users have reported playing games like the Assassin's Creed 4 and Super Mario Odyssey at around 30 to 45 FPS on 4GB RAM devices, and that is an impressive. So for bigger games, you will need to adjust your resolution scale and disable features like the anti-aliasing or dock mode. But the performance boost Suyu give compared to older user build is very noticeable. Suyu also supports Vulkan, which is a huge plus for Android users. The app is easy to install, supports multi-controller layouts, and even allows you to tweak settings per game. So if you want a Switch emulator that's more updated than Citron and offers smoother gameplay, Suyu is a solid option. Just know that it has been discontinued now, but the older build still works on lower end devices. Alright, moving on to something legendary, we have the PPSSP. So the PPSSP is the most trusted and reliable PSP emulator on Android, and this is one of the perfect for low-end devices. Why? Because it is optimized like crazy. So PPSSP uses a just-in-time into brackets or known as the JIT compiler and Vulkan backend, which makes it easier to run super smooth even on budget chipsets. I'm talking about the 2GB RAM devices running God of War, Chains of Olympus or Tekken 6 at full speed when configured right. The emulator is packed with features, custom control mapping, save states, texture scaling, cheats, and even screen layout customization. You can also upscale the graphics if your phone can handle it, or lower everything for max performance. The Vulkan backend is a game changer, and if you're on Android 10 or above, switching to Vulkan boosts your FPS significantly compared to OpenGL. Whether you are replaying classic games like Desta or exploring hidden gems, PPSSP makes PSP gaming feel new again. It's also one of the most stable emulators on this list, with frequent updates and high compatibility. PPSSP is a must-have. It's free, it's powerful, and it works wonders on a weak or low-end Android phone. Next up, we have the Citra SS2, the go-to PS2 emulator for Android. And yes, it does run on low-end devices with a few tweaks. So Citra SS2 is based on the PPSSP emulator from PC, and while PS2 emulation is demanding, this Android port does a great job optimizing for mobile devices. So if you lower the internal resolution to 1 times, turn off anti-aliasing and use Vulkan, you will be surprised on how many games you will be able to play. For example, games like Shadow of the Colossus might be a bit much, but lighter titles like the Naruto Ninja Storm or Dragon Ball Z Budokai runs just fine. So on a Helio G85 or Snapdragon 665, you can hit 30 FPS with the right settings. The app supports save states, cheats, controller support, and even pair game settings. Citra SS2 is a very stable, and once you set it up, it remembers your tweaks automatically. Keep in mind that it does need a PS2 BIOS file to work, and you will need to adjust settings depending on the game. But for low-end Android devices users wanting that sweet PS2 nostalgia, this is the one that you have to go for. Coming in the next is Citra MMJ, a custom build of the original Citra 3DS emulator optimized for Android, and it works way better than the official one on low-end phones. So MMJ was made specifically with a low-end and Mali GPU devices in mind. So if the official Citra emulator gives you a black screen or lag, the MMJ version will fix that. It has a performance hacks, adjustable resolution, and even fast audio options to get you stable frame rates. Games like the Super Mario 3D Land, Pokemon X and Y, and Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D runs pretty smoothly once you adjust the settings. Even on devices with 3 or 4GB RAM, Citra MMJ gets the job done. One of the best parts is the MMJ builds are regularly updated by the community. Plus, it supports controller inputs, save states, and other must-have features. So if you are a 3DS fan but your phone struggles with the official Citra app, go with the MMJ. It's lighter, faster, and much more stable for weak phones. And please note this, Citra MMJ, I think it has been discontinued. So if you want more information on this Citra MMJ, Google is your friend, and you can search for Google and check whether it has been discontinued or it is being in development. Next on the list is Azaha Plus or Lime 3DS emulator. So these are the newer fork of the Citra emulator too, but they are designed with a super lightweight structure that's perfect for low-end devices. So with the Azaha Plus, it's a continuation of the Azaha 3DS project and includes bug fixes, better compatibility, and an easier setup process. It also supports the .3ds and .cia files and can auto-install games, updates, and DLS. It's a plug-and-play emulator, just load your game and start playing. Lime 3ds is another lightweight alternative that runs smoother on budget phone. It trims down some heavier features from the main Citra project but retain core performance. So these two are still in active development, and when I say they are still in active development, I mean that Lime 3ds is now called the Azaha or the Azaha Plus, so meaning you can choose between the Azaha Plus or the Lime 3DS. As the Lime 3DS emulator, you can get the old build, and for the newer build of the emulator, its name has been changed into the Azaha or the Azaha Plus emulator. So with each versions getting better at performance and compatibility, if your phone couldn't handle the Citra MMJ well, give Azaha Plus or Lime 3DS a shot. They are lighter and easier on your CPU. These are great for 3DS games like Kirby Triple Deluxe, Mario Kart 7 or newer Super Mario Bros. 2. Just don't expect full compatibility with the heavy 3DS games. Up next is the Drastic DS emulator, and honestly it's one of the most polished emulators on Android, especially for low-end devices. So Drastic is a commercial DS emulator, which means it's a paid, and later you would need to get paid to get the app anymore. But it offers a premium experience. You get full speed gameplay, great graphics settings, cheat code support, save states, and even cloud save. On other phones like the Galaxy J4 or Redmi 9A, you can run games like the Mario Kart DX, Pokemon Platinum, and Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow with no problem. The emulator is optimized to scale to your phone power. You can customize the screen layout, so if a game needs dual screen side by side or top and bottom, you can adjust that easily. If you are serious about the DS emulation, Drastic is absolutely worth with free fee. There are free alternatives like the Melon DS, but they don't match the Drastic speed or stability. Plus, it works completely offline, and once again, it is free at the moment. And finally, we have Dolphin emulator, the only good emulation for Nintendo Wii on Android. Now be warned, Dolphin is demanding, but it can still run lightweight Wii titles like the new Super Mario Bros. Wii or Mario Kart Wii on some low-end devices. The key is tweaking the settings, use Vulkan, reduce resolution, turn off enhancements, and enable performance hack. Even with just 3GB RAM and basic MediaTek chip, you can get playable results on simple games. GameCube games also works great on Dolphin, and you can load ISO game files directly. It's not perfect, some games will crash or run slow, but if you are okay with experimenting, Dolphin can deliver with gaming on your phone. And yes, it supports controllers, save states, and even native Wii controls using touchscreen mapping. And these are the top 8 best emulators you can run on low-end devices. So please drop a comment below and let me know which emulator you use the most. And don't forget, download links and guides will be in the description. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow gamers, and subscribe to my channel for more emulation tips, tricks, and gameplay. See you next time.